Our next speaker is Alexis Shepard. Alexis is a ninth year teacher in upstate South Carolina with both middle and elementary experience. After multiple encounters with burnout, a desire to take steps towards self-care led to the creation of her brand, the Afro Educator. Originally intended to facilitate connections with like-minded educators, a passion was ignited in Alexis to empower teachers toward wellness. We heard from Alexis at the Emerge Forum at Blue Ridge Community Center in Seneca on June 8th. And it's unbelievably impressive what she spoke to us about. She is an inspiration to young people, and of course, through her work as the Afro Educator, is instrumental in working with educators. She champions teacher self-care through education, reflection, and dialogue. She also strives to illuminate the roles of inclusive education and social justice within wellness. She believes that by sharing stories, she can inspire and empower teachers to take control of their own narratives while developing empathy for others. People like Alexis are doing the hard work, the intentional work to change the systemic bias and unconscious bias in our communities. So I now present to you Alexis Shepard.
Thank you so much, Judy. I'm so grateful to be here and to be able to contribute to what has been such an incredible discussion. We are on the precipice of great change, a civil rights turned revolution in which voices of privilege join Black voices in pleading for the equality our ancestors only dreamed of. For the first time in the history of this nation, the ideal of a more perfect union abounds. Voices of privilege cry justice for Black lives. Sleeping eyes open, hardened hearts soften. Enlightenment erases denial and awakening. This shift in our collective consciousness is the momentum we need to create the change we've always longed for, the change that Dr. King never realized, the change that elected President Obama, the change that we desire for our children and the generations to come. That change must include the darker brothers and sisters who too sing America. We are no longer just dreamers, we are revolutionaries. And for such a time as this, our leadership is paramount. We cannot cry out for our voices to be heard, yet silence ourselves at the polls. We must elect leaders whose platforms directly reflect the interests of Black and brown folks. We must understand that racism is a socio-political construct in which discriminatory practices have been embedded in the very fiber of our democracy. The white and the privileged are most advantaged. If Black lives matter, then so do the policies that govern them. Policies that include the justice for all in a pledge that only allowed justice for some. Policies that render empty verses of patriotic hymns into the self-evident truths that this nation has taken centuries to realize. Policies that reconcile the disparities that are entrenched in our healthcare and educational systems. Policies that reflect the value of all lives, including the Black ones. You see, context is critical to progress, and the understanding of racism's roots in America as more than just white over Black is essential to effecting enduring change. Admitting that racism is as political as many of us say it isn't. It's a matter of the heart, some say, and they're right. Racism can be found at the very heart of this nation, alive in every cornerstone upon which this nation was founded. It's in the independence that wasn't declared for my ancestors, in the original Constitution that guaranteed freedoms for the people, just not the people considered property. It's even in the stone and brick quarried by slaves to build a White House that symbolizes a democracy that is supposed to work for all people. We must be committed to educating ourselves and others. All of us, Black folks and allies alike, must commit to the journey of anti-racist work, recognizing that these incidences are not acute, but part of a chronic problem whose cure is the responsibility of all of us. Our words have the power to inspire a movement unlike anything we've seen before. Right now, the privileged are laying their color blindfolds aside, proclaiming the inequities that have always plagued the Black folk of this country. At long last, we have a chance. For decades, the Black voices of this nation have sung of the faith our dark past has taught us, the faith that is exhibited by those of you here now, the faith that wakes us up and gives us the courage to persist, the faith that's at the very core of the Black experience, the faith that even privilege can't silence. Today, our voices, all of them, unite and they resound across a nation. Today, we sing a song full of the hope of the present. We sing a song full of the hope of change. Let's carry that into the days, weeks, months, and years as we march on together. Thank you.
Again, I tell you, is there any doubt after hearing that we're on the precipice of real and enduring change if we embrace this moment together? So thank you, Alexis.